Okay, this is all about risk in your hybrid event, which is now virtual and face-to-face components. Lots of people think that risks are not going to happen to them. It's going to happen to everybody else. They've got their head in the clouds, and it's not a good place to be. So I want to put the number 19 in your brains right now, because 19 is significant for this presentation. 3 little structures of an event risk triangle. First we have the people, then we have kids, and then we have money. The people, you've always got to look after them. They've got to be a core component of your risk planning. If you're not looking after your people, you're going to go down the pan very, very quickly. They were all having fun. We were having fun. This is us setting up for our hybrid event. Lots of kit. Who's responsible for it? How are we going to transport it? What are we going to do if it doesn't turn up? In the packing cases, what if we can't get it through the doors? What if the cameras don't work? What are the kind of things that we're going to do to make sure that we know what happens in the event of a malfunction? And this one, dollars for you guys. Dollars for you guys, because money is the other third component. We have people, we have kit, but without any money, delegate registrations or sponsorship money coming in, our event is not probably going to go as well as it could. We need a little money. Even if we're bartering, we need that as well. So those are the 3 components. Pre-social media, it was simple. We used to have one audience, one location, probably a friendly press person that was going to say whatever you wanted them to say. And basically, it was all self-enclosed, it was all there, it was all good, and everybody's having a great time. Now, social media comes along, changes the whole landscape. This was the Swedish pod that took part in EventCamp Europe. So now we've got people face-to-face, we've got remote attendees, like you guys who are coming into this, and we've got pods. We have pods in Belgium, Poland, Sweden. So suddenly that one audience, well, one location has gone out of the window. But don't worry, you just need a plan. This is a fairly interesting little plan, but this is where you have to start. If you want to do this properly, you've got those 3 elements, the people, the kit, and the money, and you have to start looking at how you're going to deal with these things. You want a plan that's concise, that you can communicate to everybody, and is not a doorstop. So go back to the drawing board. You want a table, and you want a table of top 10 risks, I'd say. What are the things that could potentially go wrong? Make it very event specific to you and no one else. Don't worry about all the things going on in Japan if your event is in Los Angeles. You may not need to. But go back to that drawing board. Once you're there, you've got this decision. You can either, like these people, decide to take some action, or you can just keep your head in the clouds, and the clouds are appearing again. These guys getting ready for their trek, they were going to Kilimanjaro. Well, we're not doing that, but we want to focus on what's important to our event, so we've got to take some action to get there. And the way we're going to do that, 4 techniques. This is the first one. This is a plan B. What's going to happen if a speaker can't make it, gets stranded? What are you going to do? Are you going to Skype them in, or are you going to take that part of your program out? What is your contingency plan? What is your plan if the kit doesn't arrive? You don't get enough delegates. How are you going to move things around? So that's one of the 4 components. The peace of mind, well, this is insurance. Insurance is one of those things you can use, but it's there as a safety. It's not there to be your risk management plan. This is one of the techniques. So you might want to protect your money, you might want to buy some cancellation insurance. That might be one of the things you use. Negotiation. You might need to renegotiate depending on what's going on. Here we've got Lindsay negotiating with the team about some aspect of what needed to happen in the event on that particular day. So don't be afraid once you've signed on the dotted line to go back, re-look at things, renegotiate. That's a 3rd of your 4 techniques. And the 4th one, of course, we've got Miguel and we've got Andrew, and they're having an activity. We might need to change the way that we've been thinking about our event. We might need to take some things out, we might need to go on a different focus. But we have our 3 elements. We've got the 3 people, kit, and money. That's 3. We've got these 4 techniques. So that gives you 7, plus I said 10 top risks. So we're getting close to our 19, for those of you that are counting. These guys, this was us face-to-face in Downpool. And we're very aware, of course, that we've got this audience that we can see. You can see you can get all the vibes off you, that's lovely. But outside of that, we've got to be ready for what's going on over here in Sweden. Now this, everybody was stood up, we were doing the stretching exercise. They were leading us in this whole thing across the globe. Now, in terms of the risk factors in that, Have they got enough room around the tables? If you're a remote attendee, if you've taken your coffee away from you, you've got to factor these things in. And the people, they've always got to be connected. You've got the two audiences. You've got the face-to-face and the virtual audience. But everything's got to be absolutely smoothly together, and you've got to think about the effect of maybe pushing too much emphasis on one audience and not on the other. How could that affect your reputation as a planner? Mike Clanton, big on internet connectivity. He will say, how's everybody stacking up? How is this going to look? We had some issues because the webcast we needed to do, we had to get a little satellite in to make sure that it worked, because we were in a building that was built in 1322. So the people are a big consideration, so is connectivity. And as the clock ticks down to your event, things change. Other risks come into play, and you've got to keep looking at those. You've got to keep aware of what's on that landscape, whether it's political, whether it's trends, whether it's fashion, whether it's just you haven't got the delegates coming through for whatever reason. You've got to keep your eye on the clock. And of course, you always want to be professional, like these lovely young achievers here. You've always got to be professional because you're doing this for your clients, and you want to make sure that you've got a great reputation. So you've got to keep alerting your client to what's going on, what could affect their event, and being the total professional that you need to be. And you have to keep your head out of the clouds, as I said earlier, and keep your feet firmly on the ground. It's that 19-point plan. You've got the 3 elements of the risk triangle, the 4 tools, the 10 top risks, and the 2 audiences, so face-to-face and virtual. And keep grounded, and you won't be risking your hybrid.